Hello students, today we shall learn about the constitutional design of a democracy. We will try to understand the topics like what is constitution, the need for a constitution, making of the Indian constitution, the constituent assembly, the philosophy, the feature of the constitution and also the institutional design. Now, what is a constitution? The Constitution is a supreme law of a country containing fundamental rules governing the politics and society in a country. In simple language, it is a set of rules according to which a country is governed. The Constitution reflects the philosophy on which country's administration works and expresses the aspirations of the people for creating a good society. It serves as a rule book for the government. It specifies the powers and limitations of the government and clearly demarcates the areas of its functioning. The Constitution lays down the procedures and the guidelines on how the government can be formed. It states the rights and duties of the citizens and directs the government to see the basic rights of the citizens are enforced. So, it does generate trust and coordination required for unity among the people. So, the Constitution also serves as a set of ideals that our society should live by. Now, the next point is need for a constitution. Well, we need a constitution for many reasons. For example, it generates a degree of trust and coordination which is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. Then the Constitution specifies how the government will be consulted or constituted and what power each organ will have and who will take what decision. It also defines the responsibilities of the three pillars of the government, that is the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. Then it also regulates the relationship between the three organs and also with the people. It tells us about the rights and duties of the citizens. It limits the powers of the government and tells us about the rights of the citizens. The Indian Constitution also protects, or you can say the safeguards, the interests of the minorities, the backward class or the weaker sections of the society. The next topic is making of the Indian Constitution. The making of the Constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. At that time, people of India were emerging from the status of subjects to that of citizens. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. And this was a traumatic experience for the people of India and Pakistan. The leaders were vested with the responsibility of transforming society and politics. A well-defined political model was to be adopted that suited the Indian conditions. This could only be achieved through a set of guidelines to the elected members on the governance. India faced the challenge of social discrimination. Principles like equality, liberty, and justice, irrespective of caste, class, and religion, were required to cope with this challenge. A Constituent Assembly was organized to frame the new Constitution of India. This was done in accordance with Cabinet mission. In July 1946, elections were held to elect the Constituent Assembly. The members were elected not directly by the people but indirectly by the members of the provincial legislature assemblies. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President of the Constituent Assembly. There were in all 389 members. However, after the partition of the country in 1947, the Constituent Assembly was left with less than 389 members. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held in December 1946. Soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan. So, the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect on 26 January 1950. So, to mark this day, We celebrate January 26 as Republic Day every year. The Constituent Assembly was a galaxy of the best Indians. It consisted of eminent persons like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, K.M. Munshi, Rajgopalachari, etc. Mrs. Sarojini Naidu and Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Pandit, the two leading women of India, were also in the Constituent Assembly. Each was an expert in his or her field. These great minds, after a period of long discussions and debates, keeping in mind the diversity and aspirations of the people of India, framed the Constitution. The appointment of the Drafting Committee. On 29 August 1947, the Consultant Assembly appointed a drafting committee. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was appointed as the chairman of this committee. Important members of this committee were N. Gopal Swami Iyengar, Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer, K.M. Munshi, and Sayyid Muhammad Sadaullah. The drafting committee coordinated the reports from the other committees appointed by the Constituent Assembly. On 21 February 1948, it presented its first report of the draft constitution. It was then discussed in the Constituent Assembly. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause. More than 2,000 amendments were considered. The members deliberated for 114 days, spread over 3 years. Every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates. When printed, these debates are 12 bulky volumes. These debates provide the rationale behind every provision of the Constitution. These are used to interpret the meaning of the Constitution. Till August 14, 1947, midnight, when transfer of power took place from British hands to Indian hands, Lord Mountbatten became the first Indian Governor General. After the Constitution came into force, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the President of the Constituent Assembly, became the first elected President of the Republic of India in 1952. This is how free India made its Constitution, by which we are now being governed. This marked the beginning of a new era.